Welcome back to Project Aviate. Today we're diving into one of the most fascinating, misunderstood, and powerful aircraft of the Cold War era, the MiG-23 Flogger. This wasn't just another Soviet jet, it was a technological gamble that changed how the world viewed Soviet aviation. So buckle up, because this story swings as dramatically as the MiG-23's wings themselves. The story begins in the tense skis of the 1960s. The Soviet Union was locked in an arms race with the West, and American aircraft like the F-4 Phantom were proving incredibly capable. Soviet designers at the Mikoyan-Gurevich Bureau knew they needed something new, faster, more versatile, and able to operate from shorter, rougher runways. Inside the design bureau, engineers huddled over blueprints and drafting tables, sketching out what would become one of the most ambitious fighter designs of its time, a variable sweep wing jet. When the prototype of the MiG-23 first rolled out onto the tarmac in the late 1960s, it looked like something straight from the future. Its sharp nose, high-mounted air intakes, and massive swing wings gave it a menacing and futuristic silhouette. You can almost imagine the cold morning mist on the Soviet airbase as mechanics and engineers watched this strange new machine roar to life for the first time. The MiG-23's key innovation was its swing wing design. Unlike traditional jets, its wings could sweep backward or forward depending on the mission. Extended forward for takeoff or landing, they provided more lift and stability. Swept back in flight, they reduced drag and allowed the jet to reach blistering speeds, over Mach 2. This adaptability meant the MiG-23 could operate from short runways and still keep up with the fastest interceptors in the sky. In one image, you might see the jet in mid-flight, its wings folded back like the blade of a knife slicing through the air. That's where the MiG-23 earned its reputation as the Soviet Union's swing wing wonder. The sight of several floggers streaking across the clouds in formation, wings glinting in the sunlight, was an unforgettable symbol of Soviet air power. Inside the cockpit, things were equally impressive for its time. The pilot sat surrounded by analog instruments glowing a soft green with a radar scope front and center. Soviet pilots described the MiG-23 as both thrilling and demanding to fly. Its engines delivered tremendous thrust, but it required skill and precision to handle. When those afterburners kicked in, the roar could shake the ground beneath you. The MiG-23 was designed as an interceptor first, a jet built to climb fast, close the distance, and strike quickly. You can imagine one screaming past a Soviet airbase on a low pass, afterburners blazing, leaving a trail of smoke and heat behind. It could take off fast, reach its target, and engage enemy aircraft before they even realized it was there. But the MiG-23's combat record is what truly cemented its place in aviation history. During the Cold War, it was exported widely to Warsaw Pact allies and countries in the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. It saw real action and plenty of it. In the skis of the Middle East, desert-camouflaged MiG-23s clashed with Western aircraft. It was a battle of technology, tactics, and nerve. The Flogger proved that it could hold its own, even against more advanced opponents, when flown by a skilled pilot. One of the most iconic moments in the MiG-23's story is its role in high-speed intercept missions. Imagine it climbing to altitude, its radar locking onto a NATO reconnaissance aircraft. The blue tones of the upper atmosphere surround it, the cockpit instruments glowing, and in that moment the Cold War tension becomes almost tangible. This was the frontline of the invisible aerial chess game played between superpowers. Technically, the MiG-23 was a marvel. Its engine, the Tumansky R-29, provided enormous thrust, enough to push it beyond Mach 2.3 at high altitude. Its radar, though primitive by modern standards, gave it the ability to track and engage targets at considerable range. And the swing-wing mechanism, a complex feat of engineering, gave it unmatched flexibility. It was part interceptor, part strike fighter, a rare combination in the 1970s. You can visualize one image showing the aircraft's internal structure, the engine exposed, the swing-wing mechanism detailed like a mechanical puzzle. It reminds us how advanced Soviet engineering truly was: rugged, simple in philosophy, yet incredibly sophisticated in execution. But like all aircraft of its time, the MiG-23 wasn't perfect. It earned a reputation for being tricky to handle at low speeds, and early models had limited visibility from the cockpit. Western analysts often criticized it as inferior to NATO fighters, but that was only part of the truth. The MiG-23 wasn't designed to dogfight, it was designed to sprint, strike, and survive. When used properly, it was deadly effective. Back at Soviet air bases, the maintenance crews worked tirelessly under hangar lights, tools in hand, keeping these machines battle-ready. You can imagine the smell of jet fuel, the metallic clang of wrenches, and the glowing reflections off the Flogger's sleek fuselage. This was the heartbeat of Soviet aviation, a blend of determination, engineering, and pure mechanical power. As time went on, the MiG-23 began to age. More advanced aircraft like the MiG-29 Fulcrum and Su-27 Flanker took center stage. The Flogger was gradually retired, but its story didn't end there. Many still fly today in training or display roles, and several sit proudly in museums, reminders of a bold era of experimentation and rivalry. In one final image, you might picture the MiG-23 standing quietly in a museum hangar, polished metal gleaming under soft lights, visitors stopping to admire its complex shape. It's no longer a machine of war, but a testament to human ingenuity and the relentless drive for innovation. And then, the closing shot, a MiG-23 soaring into the sunset, its wings partially swept, golden clouds behind it, symbolizing the end of an era. The aircraft that once embodied the Soviet dream of power and progress now serves as a monument to that dream, a reminder of how far technology, courage, and vision can take us. The MiG-23 may not have been perfect, but it was a masterpiece of compromise, courage, and creativity. It proved that the Soviets could build a jet that was not just fast but adaptable, a fighter that could meet the unpredictable demands of the Cold War battlefield. That's why the MiG-23 Flogger remains one of the most fascinating aircraft ever built, a true swing-wing wonder of its time. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into aviation history, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this, only on Project Aviate.